Welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program. My name is Nilaus and we are here with our production of solar sails and also rockets, though that is going to be the focus of today. We're going to again focus very heavily on the piler sorter as well as the what's called recomposing assemblers and trying to make some better builds for this. We already have pretty good builds available to you in the blueprints. They are up here, intermediate PLS. Maybe there, that one, small carrier rocket, and the other one is down here on the solar sails. That is also another one. That's this one we're currently using, and they work quite well. So we need to scale it up because this is a 1.5 speed crafting speed, and then we can get up to 3 speed, so we can actually double this. So by replacing this build with better assemblers, we can double it, but we can also build twice as much of it, so that's going to be quadruple it. So that is our objective. We are going to be quadrupling the rockets, small rockets, and also the solar sails. Why? Well, I have a lot of Dyson spheres. My ambition is that I want Dyson spheres in all the systems I'm working on. That's kind of how I like it, because, well, it's called Dyson Sphere Program, so that's why we do it. This one, home system complete. Next one, Samagod, this one. It is complete in terms of rockets. And now it's just absorbing all the solar sails that it gets inbound. Next, Magmarel here. It is also completed with both, so I actually need to stop launching because I shouldn't be launching more solar sails in this one, so take that out. Skippy is the latest one, and we are going to be... this is really cool looking once it's done, with like a flower thing, I guess. And it looks good. We are launching an awful lot of sails, and we're not really getting enough rockets in here. You can see we're not launching any rockets coming from this location, so it's not actually getting built. And well, that's kind of sad. Only 1020 are nodes here, so we need more for this location. Also here, this is also a new one that we recently started building, and we have well, what's that? That's about 25% of what we need here. So more rockets to be launched. And what else? Bubba Joe, that one has all of the rockets, but not any of the sails. So as you can see, we need more, and we have also a number of additional systems that are not even having a Dyson sphere yet. We're going to start with the most easy one, this here, this design, and I want to make it the design like this as well. The size is 1/3 of the middle section here, and I want to make sure that it gets like what I would recall, we would sort of say basic resources inbound, carbon nanotubes, and I just want to make sure that I have all these things always produced in vast quantities. So if they run out, that's what we need to work on, and we don't want to have like ninja stars or these stupid squares, having those produced separately, because they're only used for very few things. So we produce them here when we need it in ratio. So this build with the small carrier rockets only have first of all, it's not a very high throughput of any of these, because it's just really expensive materials. It's not a high quantity of materials, so we're not really going to be concerned about belt throughput. On the other hand, we also don't care about belt throughput, because this is going to be stacking for high anyway. And also, if we upgrade them to stackers or pile sorters, then it's not going to be a problem. And this will only actually include the smelter or the assemblers. So what we can do is we can do an incredibly easy task of just doing like this. Here we go. Now that is scaled up. What am I missing? It's probably... Yes, it is. Okay, so let's get some more of those here. I think they are... Oh, they're somewhere. There. Good. And then we can continue upgrading. Why does it go lack of replacing item? Oh, it's also the other one, which is in the middle. We'll take 200 of those, because we really need a lot of those. There. And let's try again. Yes, upgrade everything. Everything gets upgraded. And there we go. So that was incredibly easy. Now we just doubled that. And if we want to quadruple it, we can just copy it up to the other location. So let's just do that while we're at it. And of course it's not going to work. Why is it of course not going to work? Well, let's see. Are there any... No, they're all these are good. Oh, there's one of those that are bad. So one of them is not updated. Where are you? Where are you? One of them is not updated. There we go. That was the one. And we try again. From here to there. Yes. And yes. So that's good. Use now and build it here. Please don't misplace it. I hate when misplacing this part. There. That was easy. We just built that. Obviously it's not gonna work because right now we're already having issues with not really, but we're almost having issues with solar sails, so we do need to consume a lot of solar sails to build this. So now this is built and we are ready to get on with the next one. So let's have a look at the solar sails. First of all, they're not really working because, as you can see here, solar sails cannot keep up. And that's a problem. So we need to make sure that the solar sails can keep up. The solar sails are working just fine. They're getting fire ice inbound. They're getting some excess hydrogen. We are getting rid of hydrogen by up here having some fractionators. So that's how we get rid of hydrogen. And there we are. Everything we built is going to be taken out. So here we use the glass version of this. So we have to make the prisms as well. But that we don't want to do. So we'll basically have this build. If I just upgraded all of these assemblers to the next tier, then I would be lacking with this part because it wouldn't be enough. So what we need to do is we want to build the design so that it starts from one of these. Let's make it all the way up here. There. And that of course needs to be upgraded. There. So I'm gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. That's going to be our baseline, and this one is producing 2 per second, and then it's crafting speed 3, so it's 6 per second. I am not going to proliferate this. I could, but I'm not. But I will be proliferating everything else. This is just iron and copper, so I'll skip that one. Then this goes into the next part, which will then be the photon combiner. But we do have 2 different ways of making photon combiners. We have it with the grading crystals or with the prisms. I'm going to do the photon combiners because we have a farm that produces a continuous supply of grading crystals, plus we have the ability to tap some more. And this is the very, very, very late game, so if you don't have grading crystals available, then that's probably where you want to use them. I don't really like using them for Casimir crystals because you need 8 for Casimir crystals, so I'd rather use one of these titanium instead. So I think the better place to use them is here. So that's what we need to do, so we can skip the whole prism build. And this one is now getting 24 inbound, and each of these is working on a 3-second cycle. So because it's speed 3, then you could say that it works on a 1-second cycle. So if I want to consume 24 of these, then I will also have 24 here. There. And oh, that's funny. No? Oh, it's just this one that's misplaced. Ah, right, that's why. Here and here. So that's excellent. And then we have the next part is, if we look over on this side, that means, oh, first of all, we have to figure out, this will be proliferated. So I have now 24 inbound, and that means also 24 outbound, plus proliferation, that becomes 30 outbound. So our target is, we need to make 30, or we need to consume 30 photon combiners for the solar sails. So let's make solar sails, and we can see that we can consume 1, and that will become 2. So we will get 60 plus proliferation, that will be 75. So this build will be 75 per second. That's pretty good. And how many do we need? Well, oh no. Okay, we'll go grab some more. We're gonna need a lot of this. Right, so I'm producing 30 of these. If I want to consume 30 of these, then let's say I'm getting 30 in, and if the assembler was speed 1, then I would need 4 times, because they're a 40-second cycle, so I'd need 120 assemblers. But they're speed 3, so I only need 40 assemblers. So that's 4 lines of 10. Here. Here. Oh, right, okay, so 1 off, as always. so weird with this. And there. Now that means this one will also need 30 graphene inbound. So we need to figure out how much we need to make 30 graphene, and that's going to be the middle part here. 30 graphene. We are of course going to use the fire ice version of it. So this one is going to, this is a crafting speed 2 chemical plant. So it is on a 2-second cycle, and it means it creates, normally it creates 1 per second, now it creates 2 per second. So I need 15 of these. That's an awful number. Luckily, it's still funny how it starts to miss the last one there. Let's get, instead of 15, let's get 16. And this is not proliferated. I'm not proliferating fire ice because fire ice is infinite because it comes from the gas giant. So I just need to build it like this. I could also make it less and then proliferate it, but you know, 16 is really nice. All this divisible by 4. That is now the objective of us to start putting it in here in a meaningful way. And I'm going to be trying to replicate the pattern that we already have because, well, you know, it kind of works. So I'm going to start by having here. And that's good. That's good. You're going to get in. I will get iron and copper. And what was the last thing? The last one is the... there, graphene. Those are all coming in. I'm not going to set it up yet to request it because we'll get there. Then I need to get this out that way and this, and I will then have on the other side and the other side that. So what I have here is the 2 ingredients. Out here will be circuits. Those will be the 2 ingredients I need for our photon combiners. So what we need is we need to make some kind of design here that is maybe like this. We can also do it like that. I think that looks, maybe it gets a little bit too close. Maybe we just do it like this here. Yeah, there. And these will be green circuits. Paste, and then all I need to do is then take from here the iron going out on that side and the copper going out, and we are only using these pile sorters, and they go out on the closer belt there. And then we do the same thing on the other side. That is that one and that one. And obviously we don't need to start so far away. And we get the iron outbound. And we get the copper outbound. And then we inbound, 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 inbound. Good. So that is the first step. Now we need to make sure that we proliferate things. So we're going to be proliferating right here. And I think we have plenty of space because if we look at it, I take all of this out and I put double this this chemical plant in instead. So no, I take all of this out. So that's 16 assemblers I take out and 8 more chemical plants. That's pretty close to the same size. So that's okay. We are then going to build another one of these, and that will be here, 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 and here. And they will be the photon combiner. And how many did I need of this? I needed 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. And we have it easily available. So now on the outside, we're going to go here. And then that will be on the outside. And it's... I need to go like somewhere like that. I don't know how far out it needs to go. Probably more like this one. But I guess we'll see. And yeah, get the same on the other side. This will also, sometimes I skip things, and sometimes I want to do like meticulous designs. And today is one of those days where we want to do design work. Here and this one. And we're just assuming that it goes like... Alright, so what do we have here? We actually have a space down the middle, and that space down the middle is intended because I need to get some proliferation in here. So if we can sneak the proliferation in the middle, like that, that would be good. Alright, so far so good. Oh, we don't have inserters. That should also be pretty easy. That's just going to be in, and out, and out. That's updated, and updated, and updated. All good. So that is completely taken care of. Maybe I should also be making some power lines like that, and then there we go. So no blinky. Great. I need another. Oops. I want to build it right there. I think. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, that's a good place. And these will obviously not be there. I will get fire ice inbound. I will get hydrogen outbound. And I will also get the final solar sails. Everything else is good. And then let's start by having here. That's a good height. It's cuddly. It's not, well, I don't want it. It's clippy. It's clippy. All right, let's see where that ends up. The first thing we want to do is we want to say we definitely, even though it's 75, we can definitely put 75 on one belt. So let's start by doing that. That's what we do now. And then we want to have, no, that's a solid box. And we need a storage, and I want to have a bigger storage than I need. Actually, I want to put it a little bit away because otherwise it'll give other problems. That one and that one. So when I get stuff inbound here, I'm gonna get splitter, split, 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 split. Yes, and I will simply need one of these. They have so high throughput that this is going to be fine. Then I will need to make sure that I proliferate stuff. I also need to proliferate this stuff that comes in, and I guess I need to proliferate it here. I'm not 100% sure I need to proliferate it before I send it out, because I'm also proliferating on the other side. But I think I just want it to be proliferated. And then we built these little attachments to make sure that we can go out. That should be good. And then we need proliferation in here. Great. So this will guarantee that they go through, either through the boxes and in, or through the box and in, or straight through. And then when this is full, then they'll start stacking up into these boxes. There we go. That's excellent. Right, so now I also need to get proliferation in at this point, which I guess we'll have to figure out a way to get that done. Right, but that's the return goods. Now, what is the first thing we want to do? The first thing we want to do is the chemical plant. So let's have a look at the quantum chemical plant here. And how close can we make it? How close do we want to make it? I think we can build it like there. That's not going to be overly close. And here. Now, this is a simple build. That one. It needs 3 inputs and outputs, and because they have 4 attachments, then I can just do the whole thing in this belt. So what I want to do is I want to get sugar cubes there, and then I want to get hydrogen is on the second belt, and on the third belt I'll get the graphene, the stuff that I actually need, which means this is a bypass and this is a bypass. Perfect. So let's do one more time. This goes in, and it goes hydrogen out, and then it goes graphene out. Graphene being the stuff I need. Inbound, hydrogen out, and graphene out. Great. That should work. And then I can replicate this a few times. They are all going in the same direction. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is too close. 1, 2, 3. You have to remember, this is... Oh man, this is one of those things that always go wrong for... used to, but apparently I've learned it. When you design closer to the equator, the squares are bigger. You can see these squares down here are bigger than the squares up here because they get a little bit tighter closer to the next leap. And right after this, they get bigger again. So if you build stuff like chemical plants, like really tight, and you build it close to the equator, then when you sort of get squeezed in and the squares get smaller, then it might not be possible to build it up here. Likewise, on the other side, if you start designing it here and you put power poles, and you can see the power poles barely reach everything, as the power poles come down here, then they don't reach because the squares are bigger. So those are the two things that you have to be mindful of when doing sort of design work. And yeah, that's pretty good. Let's do the next one. And we're still on autosave. You can also see that in the top right hand corner, our FPS is actually dropping, despite the fact that I have a new and insane PC, and that's because of this raid. This, if I killed this, then it wouldn't be a problem. Right, so here we have an, in my opinion, at least interesting thing, and that is the fact that this is the outbound of fire ice, and I can just leap it over here and bring it back. Then I get the outbound of hydrogen. Then I can leap it up over here and bring it back. And then I have finally the final output. There. That's the graphene output. Because then we now have graphene listed right there. Then we just need to set up this insert output, and we start with this as being the input. I can't copy from up here because it's mirrored and not so therefore not copy pastable. There, and graphene, and then it goes inbound and then outbound with hydrogen and outbound with graphene. Let's finish this part up here, and that will be on this one, and it will I kind of think that's too high. There. It looks better that they're even height. Perfect. And go in, go in. So that's the hydrogen returning. There's a buffer. And we need to put some warnings as well later on. But I do this. 1, 2, 3 tabs to make it fit. 1, 2, 3 tabs to make it fit. That is glorious as well. And I will need to get power poles. Now we don't need to get power poles to cover the inside for once, like in here. So we don't need as many power poles as usual. And there, that actually covers it. This part though is problematic in terms of power poles. Let's build it there, I guess. There is a little bit of a problem, issue, challenge, whatever, because I need a warning here. Somehow I want it in here. Huh. I'm gonna have to figure out how that's gonna pan out. Well, I guess the panning out thing is gonna be like this. Just go a little bit further out. And oh, why is it colliding? Oh, it's colliding with the belts from the side. We do need proliferation here as well. So it needs proliferation. And it needs inputs, outputs. Oh, right. That was kind of silly. Because the answer, of course, is not blowing in the wind. But it is... Ah, come on. Target the low one. It's easy because I just put it here. It doesn't matter. This one will be monitoring on a 60-second cycle. I will be demanding a flow over 0. And if there is no flow and no cargo, that's a problem, because that means something has run out. Then I also want another warning down here, and I want to put it this way so I can read it from the side. This one is going to be exactly this, well, almost the same. This one is if there is no flow and there is cargo stuck. That means the hydrogen has filled up this part and it's now jammed, so it cannot proceed, and that means I need to deal with excess hydrogen. So those are the two warnings I want for this design. Now, onwards, and I think I need to bring... Didn't I have... Oh yeah, I have these on the outside, so that needs to be brought in. Like this, I guess, and forward. And on the other side, bring it in, and forward. I don't know how far forward it needs to go, but this will be the return belt here. I will need to get proliferation again. And right now we're just throwing in the proliferation and just have to assume that we later on find a way to actually solve that problem. I don't think that's going to be an issue, but then let's see. I want to have... This is the last part, and I want it here, right? So that goes in. I don't know how far it needs to go because it has to be 10, so it's something. Does that make sense? Yeah, it does. It's kind of close, but it'll work. And the same on that side, and we can cut these out. And that goes forward. And the other one. Why is it nighttime always? Always nighttime. Here. And this will... Well, we can do the inputs and outputs as well. I will need to get a output belt. That will go to the end and then turn back. And remember, we're using pile sorters. So pile sorters can actually output on a partially stacked belt. It's not like in Factorio, which doesn't even exist yet, but where they can only stack on existing belts, or they can only... The pile... what is it? In Factorio, the bulk inserters, when they will be released, can only put on empty belt slots. They can't stack more. But in Dyson Sphere Program, these pile sorters, they can overstack. So no problem at all. They can sort of take a belt that has 2 things on that belt and then stack it up to 4 and move on, which is pretty cool. It's kind of funny how it was just added in Dyson Sphere, but only announced in Factorio, and it was just casually just like, oh yeah, sure, let's add that. Love it. There we go. That is basically this design, and it takes pretty much all the space. It takes 3 planetary sectors. And what do we need? We need power poles. So let's get the power poles here. And they'll be up there. And there. I think that this power pole is not connected to the other power pole, and I kind of want them to be. You're still not. And I can't build it here because then it intersects with the line. So I'm just gonna build it. That's kind of silly to build it here if it doesn't connect to that one either. But what if I built that one and that one? That would be like the logical next steps. And then it connects. Brilliant. Cool. So the only thing we're missing now is the proliferation. So where do we want to get the proliferation? I'm thinking this is a good place to get it. So I'm going to need it at top floor here, at top floor going out here, and then at bottom floor. So we're going to start by making a splitter. Let's make it right there. And that will be this beautiful shape. So it starts up. That's good. Then it goes along this line. Oh, I'm out of belts. No, I'm not. I'm never out of belts. Here and there. So all of that gets done. And then the lower level is this way and go straight in and go back into that build. Now that is everything sorted except for actually requesting this the proliferation, and we're gonna do the usual stuff. This is gonna be consuming pretty damn quick, actually. So I think I'm gonna be needing at least like this. And we'll probably need to get a lot more proliferation inbound as well. Oh, right, this needs power. Huh. Didn't I have a power pole under here? Yes, I did. But that would be better placed like that. Great. And there. Not coming in. Okay, so we're getting stuff inbound here, but I think that we might have a little bit of an issue with this one. Yeah, it's only 400, and I need to go up and fix that so it can store more. And now it works a lot better. We are going to be able to keep this up, and we of course have the warning. There's the warning, and there's the warning. And what I've also done is I have disabled all of the inputs from the old ones because I need to run these out so I can replace them with the new designs. Now, all we need to do is we need to request stuff inbound. Do I care that it's 10,000? It's a little bit much. It's a little excessive to request 10,000 when it's just for that. So let's just request 5,000 here, and also 5,000 here. Yeah. We'll be very modest on this build. Here, we'll also be very modest on this one. There we go. And that is now the design all completed. Do we just assume that it works completely and then copy paste? Nah, let's actually watch it work. So this part looks fine. It's outputting, and obviously we're getting way more of the grading crystals out, and all of these are working. They're all huffing and puffing. That's good. So that is working at a balance. It is proliferated inbound, so we get 30 outbound on this belt. Then it bypasses, it's still not proliferated, but it gets proliferated out here, so it comes up 30. But what about this part? What we should be seeing over time is that since I only need 15 of the quantum chemical plants, then I would be expecting to see that these two in the middle would be sometimes having a little yellow dot to be idle. Why? Well, because these are on the long output. You can see the long output inserter going in here, and if this belt stacks up, which it eventually will, then it should be these two that sort of flicker on and off. The rest of it, all of this is enabled. There are no yellow dots on these buildings. The yellow dot indicate that they are not working. You can see over here, all these have yellow dots because they're not getting enough solar cells, which they will now get a lot of solar cells. What is interesting now is taking a look at this one here, because we want to see what is the actual throughput. What is the expected? And if we look at the expectation is that it's 75 per second, which equates to 4,500 per minute. So once this one has run for 1 minute, it should be flattening out here at 4,500. It's really close, and this is like rounding errors. So it might just even get there. Look at that! It's getting very, very close. Oh, it's so close! It's so close. I would say that I'm gonna say this is it. This is it, right? There we go. There we go. Perfect. 4,500. Let's not look at it anymore. It is brilliant. That is now the production speed we're making it. I'm gonna call this a roaring success. So I'm gonna save the blueprints so that you can have that as well, of course. Then I'm gonna be stamping it down a few times. I hope that I have all the materials for it. There, and whoops, also here. There we go. Those will be stamped down. This is completely upgraded to the new part. The other one here is not updated, and that will need to be taken out. And hopefully we are seeing these things being taken out. So what I need to do now is, well, just a little bit of the build. I need to build all of this, and then I need to replace all of these ones as well. So we can just nuke these locations. They have been... Wow, it works. My inventory did not get overcrowded. Well, a little bit overcrowded, not too much. We can put that in here, and also put that in here, and then we just start erasing all of this, and at some point it'll blow up. Oh, we also need to make sure that we have planetary. Oh no, look at that. Someone forgot a little square here. Okay, so now start popping up everywhere. And what we can do is we can just take these in here. Well, that's actually interesting. That is also an ungodly amount of the old ones, and there's an ungodly amount of that. And I want to buy myself some more space in inventory here. There we go. Oh. Delete, delete, delete. Keep deleting this part. And it's actually struggling a little bit. We just dipped. When you have ghost builds on the map, then it gets a little bit more. It's rough for the calculations, right? The fire ice can be just put directly in there, and then we can continue to delete all of this old stuff. Wow, someone's been really sloppy when they were paving this area. And do I need to pick this up? I probably can't. Nope. Can't do that. And all of this is also going up into that location. And we'll just delete it. Alright, so let's build this. And also, well, let's just take the blueprint for it. We need to... is it getting all of it? I'm not sure it gets the last... Yeah? So that's a good blueprint. Used now. When messing with these blueprints, it is a little bit tough on the design. Okay, what did we... Oh, what? What's the problem? Oh. Oh? Really? Oh, this one is misplaced. Ah, interesting. Like, hugely misplaced. It should be over there. Oops. I'll try again. Placing it. That looks correct. I think. Does it? That's correct. Better be. Right. There's a few things that says it's missing, and we will easily grab those. They are here. And now it's just a matter of building every single little bit here, and once we have that, we can see the production skyrocket. So this build is now completed, well, almost completed, just the last little bits here and there, and that should now be completed. I'll just be roaming all over the place just to make sure that we don't, if there's some little thing that was missing, that we'll be picking those up. Right, look at this glorious thing. And why is it always nighttime? Arr, it's always nighttime. Well, anyway, this is coming in. This is coming in. We are probably generating a lot more hydrogen than we can consume. That would not be a surprise to me. So that would also be something that we can easily fix by more deuterium production. And then also by basically there is one of these that is... Oh, one of these is importing hydrogen, and we don't actually want to import hydrogen. That is only hydrogen we get is the stuff that is there, this one. Go away. So we don't want to import hydrogen. We simply will continue to use this, whatever it is, but we don't want to import it because the fractionating will just be there to convert hydrogen into deuterium, and deuterium is something we absolutely need. Right, so now that this is skyrocketing production, and we can then go over here and see that this is now saturated for all of these. Yeah, yes, it is, and that means they're working at full speed. Let's take a look at what full speed actually means. Oh, I don't have to have that marked for... let's mark these here, and where's the solar sails? There, and we just go up here and select it. So, we can see that we have a long time of build, and then it dipped. I don't know why this dipped here, but this is where we started. First we built from 1 to 2, and then to the next one. And what we'll also see is small carrier rockets. They will also increase, and if we look at a 1 minute cycle, well, what should it be at 1 minute cycle? This one should be 1350, which corresponds to, if we look at each of these designs. And let's look at the small carrier rockets design. The small carrier rockets design is there's 6 of them, and it's on a 6-second cycle, so it would be 1 per second if the assemblers were speed 1, but they're speed 3, so that's 3 per second. And then there's proliferation, so that's 3.75 output here times 6, that is 22.5, so 22.5 rockets per second. It's a pretty nice amount, right? And solar sails is 75 per second, so that is 450 solar sails per second produced in this location. Oh yes, that is a pretty nice factory. And what does this mean? Well, this should mean that we are getting over here, we are now getting a nice stream of rockets coming in. And what's the other one that was in progress? This one, a nice stream of rockets also coming in. So we are now able to saturate it, and we can start making more Dyson spheres in other systems. That's amazing. And oh, this is perfect. You can also just see now that power science is slowing down, because that is my next objective, is to actually build up science facility, because we got the forge world that we built in the previous. We now got a massive production here of solar sails and small carrier rockets. That means our Dyson spheres are chugging along. Now it is a matter for us to scale up the production of science. So stay tuned, join the live streams on Twitch TV/Nilaus at 8 p.m. Central European time. It's usually 1 or 2 days a week, depending on, well, all the other things that are on your agenda. And then of course keep an eye on here on YouTube, maybe even subscribe to the channel so we can stay updated with what's new. And of course, if you like the designs, like the video, I'll be uploading the designs. They are readily available. If you want to save games, those are available to Patreon supporters. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time, take care, and as always, stay effective.